So, welcome to podcast episode 9. Wow, we come so far.
That is
so,
crazy.
we with Emma that from US and stay with us for a month.
Yes.
Almost a month. So, can you share the experience, maybe the highlight experience of this whole month?
Sure. This month was one of the most peaceful months I've ever had in my life, of just really getting to hang out in the jungle and get to really explore the character of Thailand and get to see everything at a deeper level. I really enjoyed getting to know the villagers and being involved. Like here, you're so like deeply involved in the community. I thought that was so special. Everybody loves you. They love your project, and they just want to see the people that have come, and they're so excited about meeting the foreigners. That was definitely something that even kind of surprised me a little bit, of like how excited people were to meet me. And to get to know me and where I was from. And, even though we could, communicate very little, I still feel like I made some really cool friendships and cool connections within the community. And it's just a gorgeous place to be, whether you, spend your time here on the farm, just, in the trees and with the birds, or if you go out, to the swimming pool or to the temple, or, the times we went to Lamphun and Chiang Mai, I felt like I got a good mix of kind of quiet jungle life, but also, the tourist experience of going to see Chiang Mai in the city and the markets. So there was a good diversity of stuff to do here. And the kids, of course. The kids are always such a highlight. I mean, their energy is just so sweet and so fun. So it was cool. Cool to get to know them and get to see, regardless of who you are or what you're doing, they're just so excited to see you and know you and interact with you. So I definitely enjoyed that energy.
Can we go back to the first place why you decide to come traveling? Why you decide to come traveling as a volunteer?
Yeah. A lot of people that are doing a thing like World Packers, their life isn't exactly going how they want it to go. Whether it's they've quit their job, they're going through a breakup or something. For me, I had just graduated from university, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I was super burnt out, and I just needed some rest. So that's why I decided I wanted to travel. But I fell in love with the World Packers mission specifically because they're all about sustainable tourism, and they're all about so many times you go and you visit a place and you're just kind of extracting from that place. You're just consuming. You're just taking things and seeing the sights, and you're not contributing to the community at all. And you're not always an impediment, but sometimes you are kind of getting in the way. So I loved the idea of getting to travel and experience and see the things that I wanted to see, while also giving back to a community and getting involved in it. And I think that's the best way to do it too. It was the best way for me to really learn the character of Thailand by getting to, interact with Thai people, as opposed to, staying in a hotel where I only saw other tourists. You wouldn't learn nearly as much as you do in a project like this.
I think World Packer is really the platform that really feels safe and sustainable so many ways. So let me go to, you come from burnout place in the way you living, just graduate, right? And I think it's not easy to come and just adapting here or leave the packet away at home, but you bring it here. So the past month that you here, what have you unlearned and what helped you to get maybe better, not burn out, or get out from that burnout?
Yeah, I mean, I think so much in society, especially Western society and especially American society, there is absolutely no room for rest, and there is no room for being, and there's just, you have this feeling that you constantly have to justify the fact that you're alive by doing something. And so to come here and for you to say, yeah, well, we work for 5-ish hours a day, we take a nap in the middle, it's super chill and super, I was at first it was an adjustment, right? It makes me anxious to kind of have that
you said I work at 10 at night, and no, you're not saying you work at 10 at night. You work until 10 at night.
I mean, it took some getting used to, but I really tried to embrace that and really tried to just force myself to sit and be with myself. I think so often we fill our lives with things and distractions because we're running from something. We're running from ourselves. We're running from, having to face reality. And so I really, forced myself to slow down, and this was the perfect environment to do that in. You set up, such a great space for us. And I think, I was kind of able to unlearn, like now I feel like I'm so much more at peace. Like I can just sit and I don't have to have, a 10-point plan of the next 10 things I'm going to accomplish today. Like
I was so happy when I see you one day, like, okay, what is the plan today? That's a holiday. I said, no plan. And you're like, oh, that's good, no plan. Because the first week you kind of like struggling, like no plan. You cannot even have the holiday. So
again, it was uncomfortable at first, but through embracing it, it was so good for me. Like I feel so much more grounded and peaceful, and like I'm ready to kind of take on the next chapter of my life.
Very nice. Yeah. Wow. And what else that yourself that helping, the nature around here, the space around here helping, and what kind of task or project that you work here? Is that what that brings for you? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that help?
It changes so much. This is definitely a place for volunteers who are flexible. Come here if you want to come here. Be willing to be flexible and adapt to new things. And that was, I just said, I'm here. Whatever you want me to do, whatever I can do to help. And you really saw my talents, instantly, and were able to monopolize on them, which was really cool. So yeah, it was a lot of music. That was almost all of the teaching I did was through music. It wasn't a typical English teaching kind of classroom setting. It was mostly I was just playing songs for them, and we were singing songs together and learning English that way. Which was super fun. But yeah, then I got to get into the video editing side, which was something I haven't done since I was a kid. So it was really cool to get to explore that, to get to run the social media a little bit. I started a TikTok for the farm, and yeah, I edited all the podcasts and did some audio mixing too. We kind of tried to record an album.
You expect that at first? Or you just think like you're gonna come teaching, or do what?
Yeah, it honestly was pretty unexpected. I thought it was mostly gonna be English teaching. I mean, I didn't know what that looked like. I'd never done English teaching before. It was less teaching than I expected it to be. But I mean that was fine. It was again whatever I can do to help your project. I was more than willing to do, and I kind of came in without a ton of expectations. So I think I adapted to that.
So what is the challenges that you have here? You already say like you have to kind of unlearn yourself to be more relaxed, person and face with yourself, your challenge. But what other that is challenging in the task? Maybe the teachings or the interaction or whatever that you feel like is challenging for you.
Yeah, I mean it's just kind of it's hard being in a community where nobody else really understands you. Like I said, you can communicate with people well, but nobody else here speaks English. And I tried my best to learn Thai, but I know very little Thai, so it wasn't. It's sometimes hard to know exactly what the expectations are. You're going to a new school, a new class. What do these people want? What are they expecting from me? And when we don't even speak the same language, it was hard to answer those questions. So it's a lot of learning as you go, and a lot of going with the flow, which again, for me, is not easy. I like my plan, and I like my clear expectations, and I like to do things that way. So that it was a good challenge for me to kind of expand my brain and my adaptability. But yeah, learning how to teach for the first time, really. It's to a room full of kids that don't understand a word you're saying. It's not easy, but it was fun. And once you do it a little bit and you let go and you just kind of embrace everything that comes with the experience, it becomes really fun, right? Because fun and play, like those are universal languages. Those are things that every kid everywhere understands. So if you can, just lean into those aspects of it, it kind of just falls into place.
What I learned so much about you being here is like, it's really help me maybe like back to the rhythm of like, okay, just do it. Because keep like slow and try to take time and think a lot. But to see you just jump in everything, just okay, editing this, and you just go in, not even know the program, you just put the program and then just learn and then did it in like a day, got a video or said, do that fundraising program. You just go so many and then just put it on the platform, which I've been talking about that for like a month. But you come in one day and do it, and it work or not, but you just, make it happen. That is so you. That is so like what I learned so much from it. You think it's like if you see the broad perspective of like the way of living in Asia, in Thailand, and the way the Western that you said come from so much, like the way the eating, the thinking, the ambitious, the American dreams, or Thais, and you say is the broad picture perspective that you see the different cultures that you encounter the past month.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool to see the contrasting cultural values. I really, have grown such an appreciation for the Thai culture, and the beauty of, like you said, it's not quite as fast. It's not, there, you don't have to constantly be doing something. For the food, like you said, the food was fascinating for me to see that. I thought that was really cool. I feel like, in America and a lot of Western countries, you have no connection with where your food comes from, right? You go to the grocery store, you buy the thing in the plastic, you come home, and then you cook it if you feel like it, right? And it was, for me, I always struggled so much with food in America. Thailand made me want to eat vegetables, which was cool because you took me to the markets. You took me to the markets, and I got to look in the eyes of the person that pulled it from the ground. And there's just something powerful about that experience, to have that connection with where your food comes from. Because then we go and we buy the fresh vegetables, and you can see that it's fresh and you can feel it. And then we come home and we bring it to your mom, and then your mom makes us this, beautiful, wonderful, organic meal. Like, I have so much more energy, and my body feels like the best that it's felt in years after having eaten your mom's cooking for a month. Like, it's awesome.
Wow.
Which I know
I tell my mom that.
Yeah, it does, because I'd lost that, relationship with the earth that I think Thailand has been able to sustain. Like, it, you see it even in the community rituals and the community practices that I was so lucky to have gotten to be a part of. It was very sweet. The village was so welcoming to me, and they wanted me to be a part of everything.
I let you go alone. And I
had no idea what was going on, and they tried their best to help me figure it out. We went, for 100 years, there's this big canal that is right outside here, and they go and they clear it out so that the water can come and flood through for the rainy season.
Yes.
And then, it's this kind of week-long process, and then decorating the community center, and then there's the ceremony with the monks chanting. But all of it is, it's so connected with the earth. It's, we were out in the middle of the forest, we were picking up snakes as we're like, digging in this trench. I mean, it was such a cool experience, and to see like how that community is held on, not just to the tradition itself, but to the value behind the tradition of communing with the land and caring for this place, and allowing that to be a spiritual conduit for the spirit of the community was so cool to get to watch.
Like almost every day that you have free time, you go to temple and meditate yourself.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was, I spent like close to, an hour and a half every day in meditation. Not all in one sitting, but just kind of consistently throughout the day. And my brain felt so clear. It felt so wonderful. And that was a lot of why I wanted to come to Thailand, was because I wanted to explore the spirituality and what it is that this place has to offer that seems so special.
And we have so much, because you just only volunteer. I think we have a lot of interesting conversation or talk, just because it's just us, just two of us. You remember or any maybe conversation that we have that good to share?
Oh, yes, you took me to Chiang Mai, which first I got to meet your lovely friend group, and they were so sweet. I loved those ladies. We got to watch this kind of political documentary about the politics of Thailand, and we had all sorts of conversations about democracy and monarchy, and what does all of this mean, and what is organization, and how does change happen, and what is the role that my generation is playing in that change, and how does my generation get the older generations on board. And so that was just so interesting to kind of watch, to be in Thailand while a lot of this is playing out, when there is a lot of change coming. There's a lot happening with the politics in Thailand and the democratic structure, that you had just a lot of really cool thoughts about that. And to get to, hear some of your story with, going from, being in a position of not really caring before because that was just the status quo and that was what everybody did, to getting on board with what was happening and wanting to participate in the change and feeling empowered to make a difference. It's a cool energy to be around people that see no, we can change this and we're going to. You said, that's my attitude, right? You just go in and do it. There's no other way around it. You just do it.
Yeah, you just have to do it. I hope that you bring something because I see a lot of volunteers that left that we still, have something that they not digest, and we still keep in touch and we still contact, and hope that coming back, work on together soon. So I try to convince you, stay longer, do the music program here, or find your own gift, because you have so much talents that just really, I think it's not like you go back to find the chicken, but I think you really should follow your passion, the gift that you have, because I can see that the day that we take you to sing, we just got invited, you come and you go to sing, and just
I got a Thai gig the first week I was here.
They give you the whole stage, and you fill up the whole stage. People are amazed. I mean, you can get all the energy of the whole cafe. Even the singer before, he cannot do that. But when you go sing, it's not just because you're foreigner, but I think the energy, the sing, the sound, all those, it just fill up the whole space. So I really see that talent. And that's why I'm trying to persuade you and just use the music to teach, because when you share your passion to the people, the kid can feel it.
Yeah.
And it can pass on and they get inspired, A lot of kids get inspired by you through the music and the gift that you have. So I really hope you pursue that and come back.
Thank you for that encouragement.